You are listening to the Fairways and Fundraising podcast, powered by Golf Event Planning, discussing charity fundraising and successful golf outings, along with tips and tricks of the trade. Now here's your host, Larry Battaglia.
Hello, and welcome to Fairways and Fundraising, powered by Golf Event Planning. I'm your host, Larry Battaglia. This is episode number 22, and today, quarantine edition, we have remote session. We have a great guy who I know about 3-4 years now. He's one of our event sponsors at one of the golf outings that we run annually for a great charity, the Michael Magro Foundation. The owner of East End Group, Ryan Dempsey. How you doing, Ryan?
Very good. How are you? Thanks for having me on today.
No, it's my pleasure. Sorry it's under these circumstances, but I think that you have some great information for some listeners out there that might be looking to figure this out as they start to reopen their facilities, their businesses, and their organizations. Ryan, the East End Group, why don't you just touch a little bit on the mission of the East End Group before we get into the COVID-19?
Okay. Yeah, so East End Group is a total facility maintenance and self-performing general contracting firm. We try to be a one-stop shop for our customers and client partners. We're known as the go-to to solve pretty much all of their problems, whether that's something on an exterior of a building, an interior of a building, or anything in between we've solved. We try to combine our service bundles as much as we can, and our mission is really building relationships to become your go-to partner for all your construction and building services needs.
Well, I can see the relationships that you've built just from the support that you get when you work with some of these charities at these golf outings. You call on some of your partners and they step up every time. I mean, the companies are endless. So I can definitely see how you've built your business around great relationships and caring for your fellow businessmen.
Absolutely. That's what it all comes down to, that in the end. We're only as good as the team that we surround ourselves around, and taking a lot of time and thoroughly vet our partners before we partner up with them. And they all have similar core values and mission to carry out our mission.
I completely agree with that, and I think that's so important nowadays. And going into the COVID-19, the quarantine that we're under, things are going to be different. They're obviously different now, but they're going to be different once we start reopening our businesses and get out there. And you're doing something for disinfection. It's called electrostatic spraying, electrostatic disinfection, and it's basically to treat all viruses in your facilities. So I want you to talk a little bit about that. You've been doing quite a bit of work here the last couple of months.
Yeah, we've been quite busy. We've been working around the clock now for going on 8-9 weeks now. It's definitely been a challenge for the demand.
So the spraying, it's a two-step process, right? There's a process that disinfects, and then there's also a process that it's called Gold Shield, which will protect all surfaces in your facility, in your business, for up to 90 days.
Correct. Gold Shield is antimicrobial that we do. And that's something that kind of sets us apart. There's a lot of companies that are doing some sort of disinfection service as businesses and different facilities are looking to change their janitorial protocols to ensure that their facilities are the cleanest and safest they could be. So we've partnered with the guys from Gold Shield. They've been a great group of guys to work with. They have about 4 products in their product portfolio that we're using, from the antimicrobial that we're spraying electrostatically to a hand sanitizer to a ready-to-use spray that we leave behind with our clients.
And this is basically Lysol on steroids, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, in layman's terms, yep. It's a great product. Electrostatic is obviously the best way to apply this product. It gives you the most cost-effective, and it also ensures that you have the most areas are coated. So you can guarantee almost a complete disinfection with this compared to, traditional foggers and pump sprayers and, even just a spray bottle and a rag.
And you're talking about high-tech equipment, backpacks, special guns that you use to apply this on the surfaces. So electrostatic, explain that to the listeners, exactly what that means and how it can definitely prevent viruses, not only the COVID-19 virus, but also flu and other viruses.
Yeah, so all electrostatic is, it puts a small electric charge through the droplet of the material that we're passing through the sprayer. Those droplets then are attracted to the surrounding surfaces to form a uniform coverage area. With that wrapping effect, it gets all the hard to reach areas that you probably don't think about. So like an even coating would get the underside of a chair or the backside of a doorknob. So you don't have to use it like a paint sprayer and try to hit every square inch. The electrostatic's going to give you that coverage.
That's incredible. And I honestly think that that's something that most country clubs, businesses, you name it, any type of business right now needs to be looking into something a little bit more aggressive than just your Clorox wipes and your Lysol disinfection.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the public and the customers that these businesses are serving, they're going to look for companies that are setting themselves apart and are ensuring that their facilities are at that higher level of cleaning, that they have a stronger protocol than before. It's going to be a big thing, I believe, in these businesses reopening and making sure and ensuring their clients and their people that are visiting their facilities that they have done everything in their power to make sure that that facility is disinfected, that it's setting themselves above their competition.
Yeah, and I definitely think it's going to provide that comfort zone for the customers, the clients, the members of the private country club that are going in there, knowing that, hey, listen, we took the proper steps, the necessary precautions, not only to disinfect, but also to prevent somebody else from coming in now that might be infected or might be sick, that could start this whole process all over again, right?
Correct. It's definitely going to give that longer lasting effect in a country club environment, especially after an outing where you have 250 guests at the property all day, plus vendors. You have upwards of 300 people on the property, and then you have a couple hundred members that are playing the next day.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for those days where we get 250 people hanging out again and having some laughs and some drinks and just some good times out there on the golf course.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that to come back. It hasn't been fun being trapped in the house in the office for the last couple months, as crazy as that sounds.
I know. Life is boring right now, isn't it?
Yeah, there's not much to do.
No, but maybe we can work on our golf games, when we have the time. But I mean, you're very busy with taking care of these facilities, doing this treatment. Some of your clients to date, by the way, we will have all Ryan's links in our show notes in case you want to contact them. You can always contact us, and we can get you in touch with Ryan and the East End Group. But Ryan, you have some pretty big clients they're doing this process.
Yeah, we've had a large slew of clients. We do everything from customers in the utility space, a lot of retail, banking facilities, office buildings, restaurants, large logistic facilities, you name it, we've kind of touched it at some point over the last couple of weeks. Manufacturing spaces, truck rental fleets. It's been a big avenue for us that we've been hitting.
And something else I want to touch on too is how philanthropic you guys are at the East End Group, building relationships. You just recently donated masks to a local facility, and you've been in the news, Newsday, and on TV on News 12 Long Island. For those of you that don't know, Ryan's main hub of his business is out in Yaphank, Long Island, but he has locations all over the East Coast.
Yeah, so
talk about the donations.
Yeah, so we started in the beginning of this. We saw that there was a large need for PPE for our frontline workers and came across a source that had a large quantity of N95 masks available. And we went ahead and purchased some. And we said, let's start donating these around. And first batch that we had was approximately 15,000 masks, I want to say. And those were gone by the time they got back from Jersey to my office. They were all committed to, and people are waiting to pick them up. So to date, we've donated over $300,000 worth of PPE equipment to facilities all throughout the tri-state, from major hospital systems all the way down to group homes and nursing facilities. We partnered with a couple graduates from Cornell and a couple other universities to create #SaveTheFrontline. They've put together a website, SaveTheFrontline.org, to help continue raise funds and to also track what facilities are in need of PPE, to track donations of PPE, and really create a central hub to see where we're at with everything.
SaveTheFrontline.org. That is amazing. #SaveTheFrontline. We'll make sure that we have that link in our show notes. That is truly amazing. This is something I can't even say enough. East End Group has always been a company that's giving back, and you're showing that in a time where people look at what you're doing with the spraying and everything. It's not like complete financial gain. It's building the relationships that you're talking about. You're giving back. And I can't stress enough that if you're looking to do something like this, that you got to contact Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and my partner James, we've been very blessed in our professional career, and we've always had the same intention that anything that we can do to give back to the community, to different charities, different organizations, different needs, if we have the means and the will to do it, we're gonna.
Well, speaking of the philosophy at the East End Group, let's talk about how you started the East End Group and the story behind that, because I've heard some things about what happened in your life to make you go out on your own and build this business. So let's talk about the history of how the East End Group started.
Yeah, so East End Group was started about 10 years ago now by my partner James. I was working for another firm in the exterior maintenance construction field. Met him as one of my subcontractors that I was using. The firm that I was working for grew very fast, and through some leadership issues there, became not the right culture that I envisioned myself in. And about a year later, James and I partnered up, and we hit the ground running real small. Over the last, I'd say, 7 years now, we've grown into multiple different fields, starting primarily in the exterior space, growing to a full-blown self-performing general contractor, taking on larger projects every year, building a larger team every year. Both have the attitude of the harder the project, the more people that say it can't be done, the more we want to do that project. We don't like the normal day-to-day stuff. We kind of like the challenge.
That's pretty awesome. And you have multiple locations as well?
Yeah, we've been very fortunate that our clients, through our reputation, have grown with us. They encourage us to go into other spaces, other markets where they're having issues with their other vendor partners. So we've been very fortunate enough that we've been able to grow into those markets and help our clients with areas in need. And that has been our growth strategy.
Yeah, and this spraying is certainly not limited to Long Island, right? I mean, you guys are all over pretty much.
Now we're currently have spray crews down the whole East Coast, all throughout the Northeast. We're actually in talks to start spraying in the Midwest.
Wow, that's incredible, man. All in 10 years. It's just something. But again, it goes back to the relationships that you've built. The website is eastendgroup.net. Instagram is East End Group, and Facebook, East End Group NY. We'll have all the links in our show notes. We hope you like this episode. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review. We appreciate it. Today was all about learning about the East End Group and a lot of this disinfection with the electrostatic spraying that Ryan's company is in charge of. And I can't stress enough how important that is nowadays. I think that many facilities, businesses are going to want to do something. And it's not just, well, let's do it now and that's it. How about continued maintenance on the property? Annual cleanings, maybe it's quarterly, right? I mean, you have yearly maintenance programs.
Yeah, so we have clients doing it from a weekly package all the way to a quarterly to every 6-month package. We've been really spending time with our clients to put together a package that works for their facility and to get them to that level on a cost-effective way.
All right, so I'll make sure that we have all the links in the show notes. Let's talk about our advertiser. I usually record and edit this podcast in my home office. And when I work, I need to get in the zone. For me, I feel more productive when I wear a collared shirt, but you're crazy if you think I'm going to put on a heavy cotton button-down shirt. I need to be comfortable if I'm working for a long period of time. Recently, through a friend of mine, I got connected to this new brand called Tillinger. They make my new favorite polo shirt. It's soft, breathable, and uses higher quality performance fabric, so I'm more comfortable. Work in it, golf in it, play in it, anything you want. No logo either, so you don't look like you just got off the golf course. Right now, they're donating 10% of every purchase to COVID-19 relief. I can't recommend them enough. Their website is shoptillinger.com. That's shop, TILLINGER.com. Check them out. Let's also talk about some of the golf outings that you're involved with. I touched on it in the intro that you're involved with the Michael Magro Foundation. You're actually Terry Magro's event sponsor every year, and you have a personal tie to the organization, which really is near and dear to your heart, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The Magros have been in my life as long as I can remember. I graduated high school with Mark. We're in 5th grade from elementary school level. They've been a very close family friends for as long as I can remember, and an exceptional family to know.
Mark is the, I believe, is it younger brother
Yeah,
of Michael?
younger brother of Michael. Correct.
And Michael is no longer with us, and that's how they started the foundation in Michael's honor. The outing has just grown, mainly because of your involvement, I have to say, because of the relationships that you've built and how much you give back to this organization, getting golf foursomes, getting donated country club foursomes for the event. I mean, we've had some great times doing the auction at the Michael Magro Foundation.
Yeah, I think it's really easy to get partners of mine to jump on board when causes like the Magro Foundation. It's not, you don't have to sell anyone on anything. As soon as you send them the sheet and they see what the cause is about,
no doubt
it's
about
a no-brainer.
Yeah, great organization, great family, and we'll also have their link to their website in the show notes as well. You're also involved with the Kids for Kids charity golf outing, which has been last year was at Glen Oaks.
Yes, that's in Glen Oaks again this year. Hopefully, if the world goes back to normal. I'm also on the golf planning committee for that organization.
Not sure where you find the time to put all this extra, effort in philanthropically, but it's near and dear to you. Like you said, it's the relationships, it's giving back. It's like donating all the masks that you donated in $300,000 worth of product during this pandemic. It's just who you are and who the face of the company that you want the East End Group to be representative of.
Yeah, and all these things that we do, we have a large team here, and every one of my team members, jumps on board with these missions and these efforts that we go for. It's really a group culture that we've created around giving back when we can.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And I've known you now for a few years, just working with the Michael Magro Foundation, now recently trying to work a little bit with the Kids for Kids golf outing. But I also saw you at the Joe Namath tournament last year. Boy, what a fun day that is. Was that your first time at that event?
Yeah, it was the first time at that event. We did that with a couple other companies that usually see us out on the course with, guys that I bring in for sponsors that are also at the Kids for Kids event. And that was a great event this year.
Yeah, and they do a 2-day event. So they get the pre-party the night before and then the golf tournament at Bethpage State Park. 4 different golf courses that they utilize there for that tournament. It's a big event, just one that I'm hoping that, when we get to September, because that's when the event is, that, we start getting back to some type of new normal and we get out there and we can start, getting back out on the course, at least it's at some level.
Yeah, seems like September is going to be a busy month for our charity golf outings.
That's right. And we moved the Michael Magro Foundation annual golf outing to September 30th from June 4th. So at the end of September, let's just hope there's some great weather in the fall, because I'm certainly looking forward to getting back out there, spending time with clients and golfers alike and guys like you that are doing great things in the community. So what right now would be your biggest, what you're missing most about, you probably would have, let's say we're in the beginning of May, you probably would have played in at least 1 or 2 golf outings by now, I would think. What are you missing most about golf outings?
I think just getting out for the day, getting out of the office, getting to be around good friends and people all with the same mission, supporting a charity, or just relaxing for the day.
Yeah, and you bring a lot of your clients, your business partners, and it's just a great way to network on the golf course for any business, but especially yours.
Yeah, you always seem to remember the days that you're out there.
I always would say, when I started this business 20 years ago, it's a little more personal than just maybe going to dinner with a client, where you're spending maybe an hour or 2 hours. You're out on the golf course for 4 or 5 hours together, and then, maybe a couple of drinks afterwards, and you're spending half a day with somebody, but you really get to know them in and out. You get to know their personality, and they see a different side of you than just maybe the businessman. It's more personal.
Yeah, from, getting there in the morning and having breakfast with them, to playing out on the course all day, to having drinks afterwards, to having dinner, and to having raffles. You could be spending 10 hours with the guy or the woman.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Again, Ryan's company, the East End Group, you can find them at their website, eastendgroup.net, their Instagram account, East End Group, and Facebook is East End Group NY. And you do everything yourself, Ryan. I mean, basically your entire team, you have a great team around you, but I mean, you're the guy on the front lines handing out the masks and visiting these nursing homes, and just your blood, sweat, and tears, sun up to sundown every day.
Yeah, no, there's a giant team around me. We're all there together. Usually I'm the guy that gets to take. I have a very shy team, I'll put it that way, that doesn't like to take a lot of credit for things.
That's pretty good quality too, though, right? You need those guys as well.
Yeah, no, I'm only as good as the people I surround myself around.
Yeah, so you can go to the website and check out that video where East End Group donated to, local facilities out in Yaphank, Long Island, New York. They have multiple locations, though. So if anybody's interested in doing any of this spraying for the COVID-19, both disinfection and preventative measures, they can service anywhere, as Ryan said, between multiple states in the East, but also soon they'll be heading out in the Midwest as well.
Yeah, there's really no challenge that we're not willing to undertake.
Soon, hopefully, we'll be getting back out on the golf course, and we'll be spending some time with some great organizations and time with some business partners and friends. But again, Ryan, I can't thank you enough for coming on today and talking a little bit about your business, how it started, and what you're doing now with the spraying for the COVID-19, because I think it's such an important topic, and also something that most people may not understand what the electrostatic disinfection spraying technique actually is and how much better it is than typical cleaning solutions.
Like we said, you can visit the website. There's a ton of information under our COVID-19 solutions that we're offering our clients. Feel free to reach out for more information.
Yeah, there's more videos on there as well, so you can actually see the process firsthand. Again, the website, eastendgroup.net. The Instagram account is East End Group, and the Facebook page is East End Group NY. Ryan Dempsey, owner of East End Group, thanks very much for coming on. A good friend of mine, and I can't wait to see you, man, and see you back out on the golf course.
Yes, thank you for having me once again. Hopefully we'll be out there soon enough.
All right, sounds great. Ciao, ciao for now.
Thank you for listening to the Fairways in Fundraising podcast, powered by Golf Event Planning. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and please remember to subscribe, rate, and review.